So the first half of this video is going to be about the Matt Gaetz accusers, that case blowing up in everybody's face. But the second half is going to be about Maricopa County, Arizona, and Ground Zero, where the deep state's entire thing is going to blow up the second that Trump gets inaugurated. I can't stress this enough. You should definitely watch that segment. It starts around minute 18. If you have the patience to watch the whole thing, you should watch the whole thing. You absolutely should watch the whole thing. But if you can only watch one half, I might even recommend that you go straight to minute 18 and go there, because my goodness, this is going to be a glorious bloodbath. But settle in, because the entire video is going to be very satisfying. Now, as you guys know, Matt Gaetz has been taking a lot of flack in the mainstream media lately, ever since he got tapped to be the Attorney General for Donald Trump. And I have a theory on exactly what is going on there, and I hope no, actually now I think they're going to fight for him. My original theory was that they picked Matt Gaetz because they knew for sure that there was no way that he would get confirmed. And that was basically like, here, use your one get out of jail free card to block Matt Gaetz, and that way RFK and Tulsi get confirmed. However, the more I've thought about it now, I think he's just going to try to get everybody confirmed. You know what I mean? And what they've gone with on the Matt Gaetz thing is obviously they're attaching themselves to this old investigation related to this girl, which I learned everything I need to know about from this post right here from Charlie Kirk. Okay, so Charlie Kirk outed them on what really happened in that situation. The second that you hear this, okay, in case you don't know, the concern for whether or not this is, or even suspicion of whether or not this is true, should be out the window. Okay, that's just bottom line. So we're going to read this, right? We're going to read this thing right here, and then I am going to tell you about what is going to be case number one for Matt Gaetz when he gets confirmed, or if he doesn't, for the new AG that does get confirmed. And I can tell you that with damn near certainty, because I think I understand all the chess pieces, and you can challenge me on it if you want, but I can promise you, if you voted for Trump, this is the case that you want immediately. Out of all the deep state shit, this is the very first one that you want, and it's going to be a domino that goes boop, and they all go okay? But let's read this first and jump right into it. Now, before I do that, super quick, go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, and I'm going to show you exactly why. I don't even know why I'm saying this, because here is a little piece of information for you guys. Let me show you what flawless analytics look like, okay? This is my video from yesterday, okay? This minus 123 subscribers, that's because I had a massive Diddy video that gained 15,000 subscribers, and this was the first video where they found out, they're all, oh my God, he's a Trumper. So out of, 50,000 people who have watched it, 123 are all, I don't want to follow a Trumper. Now, that is not why we're looking at this, okay? Here is why we're looking at this, okay? Here is the click-through rate on that after 24 hours. 17.6% click-through. Anyone who does YouTube will tell you that is outlandishly good. That is top 0.000001% good on YouTube, which is supposed to mean that they will expand the reach. And here's what I'm going to show you right now. The number of people who have seen this who are not actively subscribed to my channel is 1.6%. So what that means is they are not even giving anyone the opportunity to watch this unless they are actively subscribed to my channel. So if you're wondering what that means, yes, that means I am being suppressed on this type of content. Doesn't mean I'm being suppressed on anything else. I just gained 15,000 subscribers on a video that I did last week. So my reach is fine, unless I'm talking about things like this, because this one was about the Ukraine war. So to be clear, if you think that suppression is not real on YouTube, it is. Absolutely is. It just depends on the topic. Okay. It does not just like the channels get suppressed, but if you talk about a thing they don't like, they will suppress you. I am being suppressed on that. This is one of those videos, so I don't even know why I'm telling you about it, because only my subscribers are going to be seeing it. But if you're not subscribed, you need to subscribe if you want to be able to see my stuff, because they will not show it to you otherwise. Now let's get into the story at hand about Matt Gaetz. And I want to preface this with something really quick, okay? What is the playbook of the deep state? What do they do when someone gets nominated that they do not want to get confirmed, okay? Every single time it is some kind of sex trafficking or sexual assault or whatever. Every time. Clarence Thomas, Brett Kavanaugh. Wait, Brett Kavanaugh, what? So what do you guys have on him? They're all 35 years ago. He was at a party and he made this girl uncomfortable by putting her on a bed. They're all, wait, what did he do though? He picked her up and kind of threw her on the bed and played around and pretended like, maybe he was going to hook up with her. They're all, okay, did he take off her clothes? No. Did he grab like her vajayjay or something? They're like, not necessarily. You're like, and what's your proof of this? They're all, well, some hyper-leftist, anti-MAGA person who works at a university came forward and she's saying that that's what happened. They're all, what? Yeah, 35 years ago. She's saying that 35 years ago at a, what was it, high school? Yeah, high school, maybe a freshman in college, I can't remember, but definitely a teenager. Kavanaugh picked her up and then put her on a bed. Okay, and then so did he restrain her? Did he keep her there? No, he kind of like fell off the bed and they laughed and then she was able to just walk out, but she was really scared. Okay, and you're calling this a sexual assault? Yeah. And you're talking about, you have absolutely no evidence of this whatsoever except for this Blasey Ford person saying it. Yeah, that's right. Okay, first of all, let's just assume that what she says is true. What on earth does this have to do with him becoming a Supreme Court justice? Like, what are you talking about? Well, it's sexual assault. Is it? Is that how you define sexual assault? 35 years ago? Yes. Okay. You know, Clarence Thomas, this whole fucking nonsense. It's like, this is what they do every single time. The playbook is so old. And honestly, you want to know what my concern, as much as I obviously don't believe this Matt Gaetz thing, or the Kavanaugh thing being even moderately up to a level that they should have even brought it up, even if it is true, is that at some point, someone's going to get nominated who really is like a deep, deviant sexual predator. You want to know the likelihood that I'll believe it? 0. I won't believe it. Okay? I won't believe it. I feel victimized by that. Honestly. Because you want to know what I think of people who are down to great people? I would rather pull their teeth out with pliers than look at them. But you have poisoned the well by crying wolf on every single nominee that you don't like with this absolute improvable nonsense. And this is 3 for 3 every single time. And now you got the guy Secretary of Defense. Oh, say, another sexual assault thing. Oh, no way. No way. Him too? Or the guy that they did the movie Sound of Freedom about? He's sexual assault. Oh, no way. Him too? The Mormon guy? The Mormon guy that is a family man with 7 kids. Yeah, but he made this woman who was undercover feel really uncomfortable because they needed to act like they were married. So they had to sleep in the same bed. What? Real quick, I want to thank the sponsor of this video, Yo Kratom. If you're a daily Kratom user and you buy in bulk, this place has $60 kilograms. It gets to you in 2 days, just like Amazon. They have all of the strains. Check them out, yokratom.com. That is the spot that I use. Yeah, it's really important that we poison the well with him too, because people are calling this a QAnon movie. You're like, you guys are a joke, okay? So let's hear the most recent iteration of this nonsense, okay? I've had enough of this so-called House Ethics Report on Matt Gaetz. The underlying allegations are so laughable and flimsy that the only purpose of it is to smear Gaetz. Here are the facts. The report comes years after DOJ dropped this investigation into the same claims. Why did the DOJ drop the investigation? Because the claims hinge on the testimony of 2 witnesses who have such gaping credibility issues that even the DOJ, which hates Gaetz, knew no jury would ever convict him. Who are these witnesses? Okay. By the way, Charlie Kirk has a very kind of a professional way of characterizing this, where like, for me, maybe this is why people watch my channel. I would just be like, these 2 are so obviously lying that no person with 11 brain cells, regardless of how much they hate Matt Gaetz, would be like, yeah, this is something we can use. This is not usable. Everybody knows this is a lie, obviously. So here we go. 1, Joel Greenberg, who has been described as one of the most corrupt Florida politicians of all time, and who has literally made false sexual allegations against a politician before. He accused an innocent school teacher who was running against him for tax collector of having sex with an underage student. Sound familiar? A judge called the lies downright evil. Greenberg became embroiled in a series of crimes and faced a possible 27 years in federal prison. One of these crimes was having sex with an underage minor, the same 17-year-old girl who is central character in the claims against Gaetz. Okay, so keep in mind, the same girl who supposedly was trafficked by Matt Gaetz is the person who did actually have sex with this guy Greenberg, okay? But even Greenberg claims he didn't know she was underage because she lied about her age. She is now active on OnlyFans selling sexual access for money and has appeared in porn videos, go figure. According to a 2023 lawsuit, Greenberg repeatedly begged Gaetz to secure a pardon for him, and when Gaetz refused, Greenberg vowed vengeance. Well, it's interesting that He vowed vengeance. And then the girl that he definitely was involved with is the one who said that Matt Gaetz did the thing that he got convicted for. Okay. An inmate who shared a cell with Greenberg told 2 federal agents that Greenberg told him that the woman, quote, would be willing to adopt Greenberg's lie in hopes of a future financial benefit. Greenberg admitted to paying the woman's legal bills in a text to a friend. Yes, this is all ridiculous. Yes, it is all clearly contrived lies. Will the media still use it to tar and feather Gaetz? Absolutely. Gaetz has made a career of picking fights no one else in Washington had the stomach to pick. They fear him at the DOJ more than anyone, and that's exactly why we need him running the Department of Justice. He's the only one with the guts to fight the most important fights at the DOJ and root out the corruption we've seen on full display these last 8 years, confirmed Matt Gaetz. Okay, so also, here's another thing about that entire case. Okay, when that all happened, what ended up happening is that some former DOJ guy at a law firm reached out to Matt Gaetz, Matt Gaetz' father, and said he would make the investigation go away in exchange for $25 million. Okay? Matt Gaetz and his father were so concerned about this, they reached out to the local FBI. The local FBI was all, come on. All right, well, here, wear a wire. Like, wear a wire and prove it. And they're like, all right. So they wore a wire, and they got the guy on tape, getting ready to accept a down payment of I think it was 4.4 or $4.7 million as down payment on the 25 million. And boom, bye-bye investigation. Okay. So these guys got caught in an extortion plot. Okay. This was an extortion plot. The backdrop for this accusation is ludicrously fake. And everybody knows it. And even yesterday, on The View, they had, used this nonsense. They're like, oh, Matt Gaetz is a They had to read a statement on television that was like, yeah, there's no evidence of this, yada, yada. Dude, what's his name? Jimmy Kimmel called Matt Gaetz the Diddy of the Senate or something like that, or of Congress. He called him the Diddy of Congress. I can't wait to watch that stupid fuck have to read the same statement on his show. I mean, dude, Jimmy Kimmel is a moron. That guy and Seth Rogen and all the rest of these cuck weirdos in Hollywood that have been just dumping this nonsense for years, there is nothing better than watching them squirm and fall apart. I love it, dude. I love it. And I'm going to say something that I would have never said before, I don't think. Like, when we were in the minority and they were constantly attacking, like everybody was attacking, I was like, I don't wish harm on these people. Like, I don't wish anything negative to happen to these people. I still don't wish harm on them, exactly. Like, no physical harm or anything. But what I honestly used to want is I was like, I just want them to see the world as it is and just come over to our side and then just relax. That's not what I want anymore. It's not what I want. I want to watch them suffer on television. I want them to go on and cry and complain and still completely not understand what's happening around them. I want them to be absolutely flabbergasted. I want them to continue to live in that bubble. And as the size of their bubble stays exactly the same, but all the people outside the bubble just continue to become red. And they just are like, we don't understand what's happening. And then even all of the entertainers who are not completely brainwashed are like, whoa, we're on the wrong side of this. They keep flipping. And people like Seth Rogen and Jimmy Kimmel and any of these crybabies are going to be on an island scratching their head, completely dumbfounded to how 90% of everybody is on our side now. And they went way too hard to ever flip around, It's going to be hilarious. They're going to end up losing their jobs. They're going to end up, because they're just so nasty, man. I kind of feel a little bit bad because I didn't realize they're brainwashed, but I'm not a perfect person, man. I'm really not. And, I exploded on people. Over the last couple of years, I had seen things where I just snapped. I could only take so much, that the Sound of Freedom, that movie, I still haven't even watched it because I know it's going to bother me so much. But that movie, the way that movie got smeared in the press, where you're like, are you this guy literally quit his job as a federal agent and went private and went into foreign countries because he felt like he had never actually saved any victims. So he went and dedicated his entire life to saving children victims. And they smeared that movie. They lied about that movie. They lied about the guy. They put a fake sexual assault thing on that guy. That was like, my eyes were bleeding. That made me so mad. You're like, you're down to that guy? Just a black and white, nonpartisan, stone hero. You're down to smear that guy? Because why? Why? Because people like us support him and like that he's saving children? You guys hate us that much that you would just make up lies about him? It's the same thing as like the Joker Part 2. You really think that the reason they did Joker 2 was not to attack us? Like, you know what I mean? They're like, oh, we had literally we had a perfect formula. A perfect formula. And it was the most successful R-rated film of all time. All you had to do with that movie is give us the next chapter. Like, what's Joker gonna do now that he's Joker? Have him go on a real rampage. Like that, it was right there. That's all you had to do. It could be a little bit more of a popcorn movie than the original, but have him have minions and have these crazy guys saying all these crazy things and these lunatics around him going out and doing bidding. But no, they thought that first one, it was embraced by the people that we hate. So we're gonna make this one into a musical. We're gonna tear down the hero. We're gonna have him get sexually assaulted by prison guards and then die. And you're like, the only reason anyone could do that is because they hate us. And you're like, and look at how well you did. Well, you guys can suck on your fucking failure for the next forever, actually. The only people who are gonna succeed in this new world are people who are normal and stop attacking us, because you can't, you're not in a position to do that anymore. Everybody who does is going to implode, okay? I'll give you a perfect example of that right now, actually. So this is Jaguar, okay? You guys remember Jaguar? People used to buy their cars. They just dropped this today, okay? This is their new commercial. Jaguar, the car company, okay? Sorry, I'm turning off the sound because I don't want to get copywritten. Doesn't matter. You don't need to hear it, believe me. Delete ordinary. And here's a man in a dress. Break molds. Here's a bunch of weirdos. Some trans, some overweight, some just whatever. Copy nothing. Jaguar. The end. That's it. The end. That's their new car commercial. Okay? That's the new Jaguar car commercial. Talk about tone deaf, dude. Like, literally, I never thought I would use the term tone deaf because that's really like a woke one. I think I'm going to go ahead and commandeer that for right now, because all you did with that is ensured no one is going to buy your cars, dude. No one is going to buy your cars. Look at the comments, man. Like, the comments are absolutely glorious, dude. Oops, hang on. Sorry about that. Let me just show you this. Oh my God. Hey, Elon, look at. Do you sell cars? Yes, we'd love to show you. Join us for a cuppa in Miami on 2nd of December. Warmest regards. So they set up some kind of bot to auto reply to everybody. So everybody who said anything nasty, they just said, hello, thanks for the feedback. We'll be sure to pass it on to the team. Best wishes. Now, the reason I know that it's a bot is because every single time that someone said that, it just immediately responded with that, right? Quite the opposite. This is a renaissance. Soon you'll see things our way. Consider this the first brush stroke. Yeah. You just committed brand. That's what you just did, okay? Without a doubt. That is what you did, and you are going to be another victim of not understanding the culture war has completely, you guys lost. This is over. Whoever greenlit this marketing play should be very quickly replaced. And I don't wish for like people to be unemployed or whatever. If you think that you're in a place where you can start to think like me or people like me and you can market to people like me, then you should retain your job. If you can't, you are going to fail. You are going to fail. You should just get out of that business right now, because your ability to market to a mass audience in America is over. It's not going to work anymore. So as all of you guys know, this is Kari Lake, and you guys may remember she lost to Gallego in her race for the Arizona Senate. And that comes 2 years after she lost to Hobbs for governor. Now, there were a lot of questions about the Hobbs one, and there seemed to not be any questions about Gallego. And that's not because there isn't any abundance of concerning facts, like the person who is in charge of counting the votes specifically saying, I'm going to make life hell for Kari Lake. So I would be very concerned if I were that guy or Gallego or anyone else who may or may not have been involved in any kind of dirty conspiracy to rig the Arizona election. Because in case everybody didn't notice, seems to have been a resounding victory for anyone aligned with Donald Trump. And there's not a single candidate at the state level who was more public and more publicly aligned with Donald Trump than Kari Lake. Kari Lake released a recording of the former head of the Republican Party in Arizona offering a blank check bribe just in exchange for her not running during this election. And she said, they're going to have to kill me. There's no amount of money that I would take. Everyone knows that, okay? Donald Trump won by, I can't remember, but definitely 6-figure votes in Arizona. And somehow she lost. How exactly would that work? So you're telling me there was, 275,000 people who were like, I want Trump, but I also want Gallego. I'm going to call absolute horseshit on that, but I don't know, no ability to verify this. Obviously, this is just my own instinct on knowing people. You know what I mean? Like anybody, as a matter of fact, if you exist, person, and you can verify, aside from just you saying, yeah, I did that. If you have any way of verifying this, that you voted for Trump, actually, no, you know what? I take that back. Just tell me why. If you voted for Trump and not Kari Lake and you voted for Gallego, I don't believe it. I don't believe you. I don't believe there's a person who did that unless they're stupid or duh or whatever. And there's certainly not 275,000 of you, you know? So yeah, I have a feeling that there are things working behind the scenes coming for the people in Arizona. I have a feeling that Trump is going to wait until he gets into office and he's going to get his AG in, and the AG is going to come for you. That's going to be one of the first priorities. The second that the AG gets into office, I have a feeling that that is coming for the Maricopa County. What? The Maricopa County people responsible for counting the votes. Wow. I turned that that sentence into something much more difficult than it had to be. Now, let's look at something, though, from actually, we're about to look at Hobbs, the governor who definitely won. We're going to look at her talking about the border. But first, why don't you take a look at Kari Lake and then compare to this Dunsky, who no one had ever seen. Like literally, Hobbs just hit it. She ran the Joe Biden, the Joe Biden campaign, which is like lock yourself in a basement and just let the deep state cheat. You know what I mean? And you'll see exactly why. Compare. Here's Kari Lake.
On the historic grounds of the Yavapai County Courthouse, where our favorite son, the incredible Barry Goldwater, stood and he started a movement. Do you know that the America First movement was started right here, right in this spot right here, by Barry Goldwater? Barry Goldwater said, we got to make America great again.
Okay, so you want to know something? I literally had not even watched that. I scrolled through her Twitter, found a single clip of her talking. It's the first one, didn't even watch it. And I already knew it would be fine to use as the example versus this other woman, because I saw a little bit of this. Now let's watch Kari Hobbs explain why she is not going to enforce border security and she's not going to allow the Trump administration to deport So she will not allow the Trump administration to deport illegal immigrants in Arizona. Okay. I feel like there has been a definitive vote on that, Mrs. We need to protect democracy. You know what I mean? It's like do I not follow Charlie Kirk? How is that even possible? Anyway, where it's like, oh yeah, we care so much about democracy. Okay, well, democracy just said that everybody is down with exactly what Donald Trump is saying related to immigration, but that's fine. So let's listen to this fucking idiot try to justify why they're not going to allow that.
When hearing about the Trump administration's plans for border security, the emphasis really is on this mass deportation. What we saw here today is the actual work happening at our ports of entry that are interdicting drugs, keeping those drugs off our streets, and we need more of that to secure the border here.
That's who supposedly beat Kari Lake. Okay, that's who supposedly beat Kari Lake. You're like, hey, you do realize that we have enough information to know that if you go stand at a legal port of entry, which is the infrastructure that all the people who are legally entering the country, okay, legally entering the country, no one is dumb enough to think that this has anything to do with what everyone's talking about. We're talking about illegal entry of the country. Illegal entry of the country. You post it up at the border crossing, which people drive through, hand their ID to everybody. They're all, hello, I'm coming in. And she's like, yeah, because we find people that have drugs here. What on earth does that have to do with anything? We're talking about people who swim over the Rio Grande. We're talking about people who are going through tunnels. We're talking about people who just have walked through the desert and are walking over illegally. That's what we're talking about. The people who did that, deporting them. What does this have to do with anything? And nice public speaking, dude. Just as good as Carrie Lake.
As you know, Trump has promised that he would carry out mass deportations on day one of his presidency. Your state is estimated to have 250,000 undocumented immigrants. Some Democrats in your state, like Phoenix Mayor Kate Gallego, say that she wouldn't allow police to be used to carry out this plan. Would you, as governor, allow state police and National Guard to carry out mass deportations?
We will not be participating in misguided efforts that harm our communities. And I've been incredibly clear about that.
So misguided efforts that harm your communities. So you're like ground zero of drug traffickers, human trafficking, okay? People who are bringing in these like arch criminals, terrorism obviously as well. And you're like, you know what we need to do, guys? Let's go stand at the legal point of entry, pretend that this has anything to do with what we're talking about, and then say we won't be participating in any negative connotation, but we won't address the elephant in the room at all that everybody is already crystal clear on. These people are the worst politicians on earth. You guys are trash. Keep doing this, dude. Seriously, keep doing this. And really cross your fingers that you can continue to execute whatever fraud you have going in your county that's winning in Arizona, because you're going to get caught. You guys do realize that, right? Like if you're doing, if you're doing something, you're going to get caught, okay? Matt Gaetz, if he gets confirmed, if he doesn't, whoever else gets confirmed, they're coming for you first, okay? The second that the AG comes in, you have to understand what has Trump's number one focus been for the last however many years? Proving he's not crazy, proving that what he said about 2020 is true. And you just did the same thing in 2022 and 2024. Put yourself right in the center of the bullseye, okay? You guys are out there like, yeah, let's just keep on running with the party line. We'll just keep saying the same things and hopefully that works out. The second he gets confirmed and the second the AG gets confirmed, they are going to have a microscope up your ass. Bet your life on that, okay? The day that your state said that Carrie Lake lost, Trump put a post on Truth Social that said, checkmate, okay? So you think about that. Okay, the minute that they called it for Gallego, Trump has put it up on Truth Social, checkmate. Okay, so if you're feeling real comfortable with where you're at, you shouldn't, because they're coming for you, and you should bet your life on that. And this nonsense is it's embarrassing.
You disagree with mass deportations and the fact that the president-elect says that's what he's going to be working on day one.
Well, I think that those efforts are going to divert needed resources that we need here on these drug interdiction and smuggling and trafficking efforts to keep harm out of our communities. We need those resources here, and the coming here today and seeing this operation firsthand just underscores that.
This is the governor of Arizona, you guys. This is who got elected instead of Carrie Lake. I mean, didn't actually, but you know what I mean? Hey, I wonder why the deep state likes a person like this. What could it be? It must be her firm grasp on exactly what's going on, and definitely not her inability to stand for a single thing that they can't overturn with a single 2-second phone call. Yeah, no, that's not what we're doing here. Oh, okay. I'll keep talking to your, speaking coach, which clearly is not working very well. This is the governor. This is the governor that beat Carrie Lake. Yeah, fucking right, dude.
That working in partnership here is how we can best secure the border.
What would worry you the most, Governor, about mass deportations?
I'm going to predict she's not going to have a single answer right here. Like, I haven't seen this. On my kids, I've not seen this. My prediction is her answer here will be non-existent. Like, she won't even prepared for this. Okay, because I don't think they would have allowed her to answer this, because there's no good spin you could put on this, because there isn't a good answer here.
Well, I think the diversion of law enforcement from the work that they do every day to keep our communities safe, people hiding in fear. We saw that under previous state policies here. And it harms communities. It tears families apart. And that's not gonna happen on my watch.
How do you guys feel about that answer, dude? Good luck with that in your very, very numbered days. And listen, if she didn't realize, if there was a fix and she didn't know, maybe she's safe. Maybe she'll just lose her job. But listen, if they do prove it, what do? Where does Carrie Lake go? Does she become the governor, or does she become the senator? Hypothetically, if they did juke the numbers on both of those. I can't prove it, but I have a feeling that's going to be a high priority for the Trump administration. So we'll see how that plays out.